What rights does a subtenant have in a rental property? Imagine moving into a space that's not directly rented from the landlord but from someone who is. That's what a subtenant does. But what exactly are their rights in this situation? Let's break it down. A subtenant, also called a sublessee, rents part or all of a property from the original tenant, not from the landlord. Their rights depend mainly on the sublease agreement they sign with the primary tenant and what the original lease says. First, a subtenant has the right to live in the rental unit or the part of it they agreed on for the time period listed in the sublease. They should pay rent to the original tenant, not directly to the landlord, unless the sublease says otherwise. The rent amount and when it's due need to be clear in the sublease. Subtenants are protected from being overcharged. In many places, the original tenant cannot charge more than a fair share of the rent based on how much space the subtenant uses or how many people are living there. If they do, that could be illegal. Subtenants also have the right to a safe and livable space. While the main lease makes the original tenant responsible for maintenance, the subtenant can expect the unit to meet basic standards of habitability. Privacy matters too. The original tenant must respect the subtenant's privacy and give proper notice before entering the unit, just like a landlord would. The subtenant must follow the rules in both the main lease and the sublease, including restrictions on pets, noise, or use of the space. It's important to remember that a subtenant does not have a direct legal relationship with the landlord. This means they can't enforce lease terms directly against the landlord and don't have tenant rights from the landlord unless the landlord explicitly recognizes them. They also can't evict the primary tenant. If issues come up, the subtenant's options are limited to the sublease agreement or legal action against the original tenant. If the original tenant's lease ends or they are evicted, the subtenant's right to stay usually ends too. Most leases requiring the original tenant to get written approval from the landlord before subletting. If they don't, the subtenant's rights could be at risk. To protect everyone, it's best for the original tenant to have a clear, written sublease that spells out rent, duration, responsibilities, and rules. Subtenants should verify that the original tenant has the landlord's approval to sublet. Landlords and property managers should also be clear about their policies on subletting to avoid surprises. Both parties should keep records of rent payments and any communication to help resolve disputes if they happen. In the end, a subtenant's rights are mainly defined by the sublease agreement and are more limited than those of the original tenant. They pay rent to the original tenant, who remains responsible to the landlord. Understanding these rules helps everyone stay on the same page and keeps the rental process smooth and fair.